Welcome to Betrayal Stories. In today's video script, that summer started like any other. Long days, quiet nights, and a house that suddenly felt far too big for one person. My name's Jake, and that summer I turned 18. Just old enough to feel like an adult, but still too young to understand what adulthood really meant. Summer vacation had just begun. My friends had all left for trips or summer jobs. My father was off on a 2-month business assignment overseas, and my mom, Sarah, had gone to visit her sister for a few days. When she came back, she looked different, distracted, tired, like she was carrying something heavy she didn't want anyone to see. She told me she'd be meeting an old friend the next day and that she'd be gone most of the afternoon. I didn't think much of it at first. After all, parents had their own lives, their own circles, but something about her tone, the way her eyes avoided mine, made me pause. Chapter 1. The Empty House. The first few days alone felt freeing. I could sleep late, blast music, eat cereal for dinner, no rules, no questions. The silence was comforting at first, but after a few days, silence can start to sound like something else, like loneliness pretending to be peace. I filled the time with meaningless things. Gaming, scrolling through social media, watching shows I'd already seen. But no matter what I did, a kind of emptiness clung to everything. Then one morning, as sunlight poured through the window, I found an envelope on the kitchen counter. My name was written in my mother's handwriting. Inside was a grocery list, and something else, a note. "Jake, I'll be gone most of the day. Don't wait up for me." "Mom." Simple, ordinary words, but something about the way she'd signed it, not with her usual little heart at the end, made me uneasy. Chapter 2. Unspoken distances. When Mom came home that night, she looked pale. Her eyes were red as if she'd been crying. I asked her if everything was okay. She smiled, a small, shaky smile, and said, "Of course, honey. Just tired. But mothers have their own tells, and sons notice them, even if they pretend not to." That night I heard her in the kitchen long after midnight, pouring herself a glass of wine, whispering something to herself that I couldn't make out. I wanted to ask her what was wrong, but I didn't. Maybe I was afraid of the answer. Chapter 3. Cracks in the silence days turned into weeks. The summer heat grew heavier, and so did the air in our home. Mom tried to act normal, cooking breakfast, watering the plants, asking about my classes. But something about her seemed distant, like her body was there but her heart was elsewhere. Then one afternoon, while helping her in the kitchen, I noticed her phone light up on the counter. A message flashed on the screen before fading. "I miss you too." I looked away immediately, pretending I hadn't seen it. But those 3 words echoed in my head. That night, while washing the dishes, I asked her softly, "Mom, are you okay with Dad being gone so long?" She froze for a moment before replying, "Your father's busy, Jake. That's just how life works sometimes." I wanted to believe her, but a part of me knew something had changed, something deeper than distance. Chapter 4. The photograph. Few days later, I was cleaning the living room when I accidentally knocked over a photo frame. It was one of our old family pictures, Mom, Dad, and me on a beach when I was 10. When I picked it up, I noticed another photo hidden behind it. This one was different. It was Mom, smiling, standing beside a man I didn't recognize. The background looked recent, maybe from this summer. The man's arm was around her shoulder. I didn't say anything that night, but inside, something cracked. Chapter 5. The confrontation. The next evening, we were eating dinner in silence when I finally spoke. "Mom, can I ask you something?" She looked up from her plate. "Of course, sweetheart." "What's wrong?" "Who's the man in the picture behind the beach photo?" Her fork stopped midair. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she set it down gently. "You found that." Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled. "Jake, I wasn't trying to hide it from you, she said. It's just complicated. Are you seeing someone? Her eyes filled with tears. It's not like that. I felt a rush of anger, confusion, sadness, all tangled together. Then what is it like, Mom? I demanded. Dad's been gone for weeks. You're meeting someone, crying at night, lying about where you go. Enough, she snapped, her voice breaking. You don't understand what I've been through. The room went silent. Then, softly, she whispered, He was my friend before your father. We reconnected recently. I shouldn't have let it go this far. Her voice cracked. I just felt so alone, Jake. I didn't know what to say. For the first time in my life, I saw my mother not as a parent, but as a person, a flawed, fragile person who had made a mistake. Chapter 6. The fallout. For days we barely spoke. The air between us was thick with unspoken words. I didn't tell my father. I couldn't. Not yet. But I also couldn't look at Mom without remembering that photo. Then one afternoon I came home to find her sitting on the porch, staring at the sunset. A half-packed suitcase sat beside her. I'm going to my sister's for a while, she said quietly. We both need some space. I wanted to argue, to ask her to stay, but my throat felt heavy. So I just nodded, before she left. She turned to me and said, You're a good son, Jake. Don't let my mistakes make you bitter. And then she was gone. Chapter 7. The Empty Weeks. The house felt emptier than ever. Without Mom's presence, her voice, her footsteps, even her humming in the kitchen, everything echoed differently. At first I was angry. Then I was sad. Then I just felt lost. I started going on long evening walks, trying to understand why life could change so suddenly. One night, I sat on the park bench under the same stars I used to watch with her when I was a kid. Back then, she'd point at the sky and say, Every light up there has a story. I wondered what hers was now. Chapter 8. The Letter To. Weeks later, a letter arrived. The handwriting was familiar. Dear Jake, I know I hurt you. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I needed to face what I'd done and understand why I made the choices I did. You deserve honesty, and so does your father. I'll talk to him when he returns. Please know that I love you more than anything. Mom. Tears blurred the words before I could finish reading. That night, I wrote back. Dear Mom, I'm still angry. But I also understand. You've always told me people make mistakes, that love is messy and complicated. I just never thought I'd see it happen to us. I hope you find peace. Jake, I didn't send the letter, but writing it made me feel lighter. Chapter 9. The Return. When Dad finally came home, things were different. He noticed the distance immediately. The quiet dinners, the lack of laughter. One evening, he asked, Where's your mother been going lately? I hesitated. My mind flashed back to her tear-filled eyes, her letter, her confession. She needed some time, I said softly. She'll explain everything when she's ready. He nodded slowly. I see. And for the first time, I saw sadness in his eyes too, the kind that hides behind strength. Chapter 10. The Healing. A month later, Mom returned. When she walked in, the air in the house seemed to shift. She looked tired but peaceful. She sat us both down, me and Dad, and told him everything. There were tears, arguments, long silences, but there was also honesty. It took time, weeks of painful conversations, therapy, apologies and tears, but slowly, we began to rebuild. Not to erase what happened, but to understand it. Because betrayal doesn't always mean the end of love. Sometimes it's the start of truth. Chapter 11. The last day of summer and the last day before university started. Mom and I sat together on the porch, just like that evening she'd left. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in orange and gold. I'm proud of you, Jake, she said. You grew up faster than I expected. I smiled faintly. You did too, Mom. She laughed softly, tears in her eyes. I guess we both did. The cicadas hummed, and for the first time in months, the silence between us felt peaceful again. I realized then that forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing to move forward. That summer, I lost the version of my family I thought I knew, but I gained something else, a deeper understanding of love, pain, and the fragile beauty of being human. Epilogue. The summer that changed. Everything years later, when people ask me when I finally grew up, I tell them, that summer. Not because of what happened, but because of what it taught me, that love is not perfect, that forgiveness takes courage, and that sometimes even broken families can heal if they choose honesty over silence. That summer didn't destroy us, it changed us, and in a strange way it made us whole again.